Hello, everyone. Today's objective is to perform a shell analysis using the EAS-shell format, which only allows quadrilateral shell meshes, starting from an STL file model. So launch FEBio Studio, create new model, and what we're going to do is we're going to perform a structural mechanics analysis, and what we're going to import is a file that I'm going to make available for you on the repository, which is going to be cylinder.stl. So if you import this STL file, you will notice that it's actually a very coarse mesh like all STL models are. And this particular one has these dimensions here. It has a diameter of 8 millimeters and a thickness of 4. So what we would like to do is we would like to extract this top surface and mesh it with quadrilateral, shell meshes, and then perform an analysis on it. So to do this, we're going to actually go to the edit mode for the this particular mesh. I'm sorry, we're going to go to, yes, the edit mode, and we're going to MMG remesh, and we're going to actually pick a relatively coarse mesh, 0.5 millimeter for the dimensions, and it'll remesh the whole thing. So it's a relatively coarse triangular mesh, not very coarse, it's reasonably coarse. Then we're going to convert this to an editable mesh. Then we're going to go back to the regular mesh format for, after we converted this to an editable mesh. And then we're going to select the top surface and we're going to extract it. And doesn't matter what name we give it, but the point is we're going to now delete this part that was the original STL mesh. So now we're left with only just this surface, and our objective is to actually do an analysis on this. So I'm going to select this surface and I'm going to convert it, and I'm going to say convert mesh, and down here I'm going to say from tri3 to quad 4. If I say apply, you will see that it'll actually subdivide each coarse triangle into finer quadrilaterals. This is not an ideal way of generating quadrilateral meshes, but it's appropriate for this particular application. Let's save this particular file, and let's say we put it on our desktop and we call it, for example, shell mesh EAS from STL. So we'll save it. Now I need to assign a material model. I'm going to do a nonlinear analysis. And for a nonlinear analysis, I'm going to pick, for example, an isotropic elastic material, but Holmesman, which isn't nonlinear. And I'll make the stiffness, let's say, 10 megapascal, Poisson's ratio of 0.3, just so that it's not a trivial Poisson's ratio. And the exponent here is the nonlinearity. This is an exponential strain energy density function. Now I'm going to assign this particular material to this disk, and I'm going to save it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign, for this particular shell, I'm going to select the shell formulation, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to select elastic shell EAS, and I'm going to make the shell thickness 0.1 millimeters. And the rest I'm going to just take it as default. Now I need to apply boundary conditions. The only boundary that I care about is the edge. And I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut, and I'm going to look for boundary conditions that say 0 displacement. So I'm going to clamp the edge. But because it's a shell mesh, I also want to say zero shell displacement. So I will clamp both the top and the bottom of the shell. And remember, in a shell analysis, the back surface is implicit. But I'm also going to select this top surface, and I'm going to apply a pressure. I'm going to apply a pressure load. And for this particular pressure load, I'm going to pick 0.1 megapascal. I'm going to say non-symmetric stiffness because this actually is going to be a pretty large deformation. And then I'm going to go to the load curve that's automatically associated with this pressure, and I'm going to convert it from linear to a smooth step, because shell analyses using the EAS formulation are very delicate. They actually require a slow increase in the load. So in principle, I have applied all my boundary conditions, so I can create an analysis step. For this analysis step, I'm going to pick a default of 100 time increments of 0.01. So I'm going to go from time 0 to time 1 where the pressure achieves this maximum value. I'm going to change a few of the defaults. I'm going to say the optimal iterations are 25. and that means that I actually want to do 25 maximum reformations. I'm going to run a full Newton analysis because shell formulations don't converge easily without that. And I'm going to specifically request an aggressive time stepper, which means that if it fails in a particular time step, it'll take a time increment which is half of the current time increment. That's what it means to have a cutback of 1/2. If I save this, in theory, this should run. If I say run, hopefully it will run to convergence. We'll see. Maybe I can't tell because of the way that my window is located, but it looks like it's converging. Yeah, we're doing a good job. So this is converging. It actually ran to normal termination. I'm going to go back and we'll take a look, for example, at the final deformation. You can see quite a bit of deformation. So if I look at the stress, for example, the principal stress, you will notice if I hide the mesh and I use discrete colors, that it's fairly axisymmetric away from the edges. So the edges are not like smooth, but that's to be expected. However, away from the edges, we get very much the solution that we expected, even though the mesh is not at all axisymmetric. So we get a reasonably axisymmetric solution. So that's it. That covers this particular tutorial. So I'm going to end this particular share and we'll take it from there.